Oh! Get wrecked, son! For more competitive audiences. At least that's my thoughts on it.
No, take your time.
Dude, this guy just quit on me! There we go. Super Saiyan Nappa, boys. Yo, what's poppin', guys? So, the new Dragon Ball FighterZ, or FighterZ game, whatever you prefer for the name of the game, is a pretty awesome game. Now, these are my thoughts on the game. A lot of you came into my live stream asking, what are your thoughts on this game? Is it good? And to sum it up, I think that the game is actually pretty dang hyped. Like, the game, let's be honest, it looks absolutely amazing. And on top of that, the audio of this game is great. And the game looks super flashy. I'm sure this game will be very popular once it actually launches, which is actually January 26th. Now, I might stream the game from time to time. I think it's a good game for me to take a break from Overwatch and play it. Now, one of the most important things with a fighting game is obviously like the online connection, because I used to play a little bit of Dead or Alive 4 back in the Xbox days, and sometimes you would get matched up against a player that was super lagging, and it was just like unplayable. Sometimes it even felt like they had an advantage if they were lagging, but as far as this game goes, I didn't really have that many issues. Yeah, there was a few times where some of my input, I felt like, okay, I definitely did the move, but it just didn't go through. And that's just a very important thing to me. Now, for the most part, this game is totally fine. Like, the online section is great. Even if the game says that, like, you're in a one bar, it's playable. Like, it's not, like, bad at all. In terms of, like, fighting games, this is great for online connection quality. Now, as far as my, like, thoughts on this game, and if I'm going to be streaming it, like, a lot, I definitely will be streaming this game. I just have a lot of fun with the game. And again, it's a nice game for me to take a break from, like, Overwatch with, because, you know, sometimes you get into those Overwatch games, those late night queues, and you get pranked by teammates that don't want to work. And what I really like with this is there's no teams. Well, there might have a mode. Now, keep in mind, this is beta gameplay, so we don't have all the modes. But in the future, if they decide to add like a 2v2 mode or any mode where like you can have another player, that would be cool. I wouldn't really mind if they added some other modes like that, or just some other obscure modes, maybe like a 1v1 where you don't have 3 characters. I'm sure that that will be an option in the game. Keep in mind, this is just beta gameplay, so there might be some things obviously that will be changed. Now, I'll briefly go ahead and sum up like what's on screen and stuff like that. I know my camera is kind of big right now. While I was streaming the game, or if I stream this game in the future and you're watching this, I won't have the cam this big. It's just because I just figured for like this recording we'll go ahead and have like bigger cam. But for the most part, you'll see over on the top left, obviously the HP. You can swap into the characters. You can also DHC. I'm not a huge fighting game guy, but I know a lot of the terminologies and some of the lingo when it comes to these kinds of games. But basically, while I'm ulting, I can swap into another hero and ult. So I really like that. In fact, if any of you guys have played Marvel vs. Capcom, not the newest one. The newest one I did mess around for a little bit. This game feels more like Marvel than the newer Marvel. And I mean that in a good way, because I prefer like my games to be very fast. Oh, by the way, the audio in this game is absolutely amazing. But the audio that you're hearing is from another amazing game, Sonic Adventure 2. But it's just because like I was talking during the gameplay, and I figured it would just make the video much better if I was able to give you guys, my audio without me commentating in the background of the actual game. So health obviously in the top left, top right, and then you also see in the very middle the delay. It says like 5 FR, and it's like that's definitely playable. Now over in the bottom left you'll see these ult meters, and they can charge up, and you can hold up to 7. When you get 7, you can actually get Shenron. I don't think I've ever played a game where someone actually summoned the dragon. Now when you summon the dragon, you have a lot of different abilities that you can choose from. You can bring someone back. For the most part, I haven't seen anyone actually pull it off. And if you're pulling it off, I would say the player is probably not very good, because you have to build up 7 of your ultimate meters, and then on top of that, you actually have to pull off a combo. On top of that, you actually have to perform a bunch of other different things to collect like all the Dragon Balls. Basically, you have to like initiate like certain like move sets, and then you'll be able to actually summon the dragon, which is cool. I like that they added that, even though it's it's kind of like, I almost want to say like an Exodia, like, oh, he pulled it off. Like, it's definitely going to be for some hype moments. And obviously, it's going to be there for the disrespectful plays, which I'm all about in fighting games, which is one thing I wish they did. Like, you know how in Marvel, after, like, you destroy someone, you have a few seconds where you can, like, either, you know, space, or you can go to their body and, like, teabag really fast, or you can basically dash in front of them over and over. That, I wish they added into the game, but basically what happens after you defeat people, most of the time what happens is someone will come in and there'll be this little animation, which it definitely looks cool. You can see I'm gonna DHC over there, which means I'm gonna like get another character to ult and swap into them. I like that. I think that is really cool. And the combos are very easy. So if you're like, yo, I really like you know, Dragon Ball Z. I've never really played a fighting game before, or you're just not that good at fighting games. That's me right here. Although, dude, last night, okay, so when I first started the game, I got absolutely destroyed. Well, okay, it's because when I first started, some of the ultimates, I didn't know where they would shoot. So, like, some of the ultimates, they would shoot straight up, or they would shoot sideways, or they would shoot, like, diagonally, and I would look like an idiot, because I'm like, okay, I'm comboing this guy, then I ult, and it stops the combo. It's because I didn't, like, play the characters. Now, once I had my setup over here, you'll see, like, most of this gameplay is going to be Android 18, Nappa, and Super Saiyan Goku. And we just completely demolished. We just didn't lose for like an hour straight. That's after, of course, I got my like roster and I understood what they did. But you guys can check the VOD too, no pranks. In the very beginning, we did take a bunch of L's. It's because I was trying out all the characters. But once you learn like what the characters can do, pretty good stuff indeed. One thing, if you are a keep away kind of a player, like as in you like to shoot projectiles, I would say it's a little bit difficult to do in this game because charge is just very, very strong. Charge is just like the R2 key. And you'll see, like, I'll just dash right in. But as far as like the game goes, and as far as like other additional content to the game, they already said that, apparently they're going to make some DLC like content for the game. There's no loot boxes. That's already a plus. Now here's the lobby. Now, a bunch of the areas you'll see, they have this little like red circle with like a cancel. You can't go to those. Those are areas that are locked off. But as far as what you can do in the beta, you have like a replay system. There is the world match, which is basically quick play as well as ranked. Now, if you are playing the game in the beta, keep in mind right now it's in beta, but it's a little bit difficult to find a ranked game. Now, a lot of people were also complaining about not being able to get a game. I hope that gets fixed in the future. Obviously, it is a beta. However, I understand some of you guys are like concerned, like, I can't get a game, this game sucks. I understand your frustration, because some games, like heck, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and Master Chief Collection, those games were like broken for a really, really long time. Oh, important thing, you guys see that over where it says like 53, 52, over to a little bit to the left of that, you'll see the connection quality. This one's a 0 bar game. Now, even though it's a 0 bar, the game quality is still perfectly fine. I don't know if that little thing is kind of messed up, because again, fighting games are very important to have good connection if you're playing online, because some fighting games, they're just straight up unplayable online because the connection is so bad. You can, however, search only for people with like really good connection, which is great. You can also select like your location, so they're definitely making it so you're gonna have a good connection majority of the time. Now, one concern that I do have, especially for casual players getting into like any fighting game, is there's gonna be times like in the very beginning of the video where like you saw the guy, he just got frustrated, he just straight up quit. Now, I understand the frustration with getting 100 to 0. I haven't gotten 100 to 0 in this game, meaning just like I get like the guy hits me once. It's not Marvel. Like I don't know how hard you can OTG in the game. Like I've only played a few hours of the game and I had a blast. And like I said, I haven't had a player just 100 to 0 me. I don't know if that is something that is possible in the game. Again, a lot of these areas are locked off. You have since we're actually looking at the screen, you'll see that there's like there's a training. There's like there's also like leaderboards. And there is the replays, quick play, ranked, leaderboards, and training. Those are the modes that are available right now in the beta. But you guys can see, again, there's some locked off areas that will be available. It doesn't tell you what those game modes are. Hopefully that will be revealed relatively soon because, you know, it's retailing for a full price, and I would hope that they have a lot more modes to it, even though the core mode is pretty good. But again, for some of you casual players, there will be times where you will get absolutely destroyed. And if there's not a large amount of people playing the game, I feel like a lot of fighting games as well as RTS games, they're very niche, and a lot of the people that play those games, they're very good. So, like, for example, if you go back into Marvel, like, if I was to jump on Marvel, most of the players in that game would probably just be, like, super good, like, as in, they play a ton of the game, and they're gonna be able to just destroy you. That's just something that I would say, again, it's in RTS and in fighting games, it definitely caters towards more of a competitive audience. However, with this game, the entry is pretty easy in terms of, like, learning, because they have this, like, training mode. I wish it was more in-depth, like, Guilty Gear or Blaze Blue, like, they do, like, I would say a better job of, like, teaching you kind of how to play the game. And I hope that this game, again, they do have a training section, but I wish it was a little bit, like, better, like, it was more advanced. Maybe they'll add a more advanced mode in the future. But, again, that's just something that they definitely can do. And also, I want to say that a lot of times that games have, like, this training mode, most of the people that want to take the game serious are probably going to look up YouTube videos anyways to, like, learn some of the combos and learn all the DHCs and, like, you know, what OTGs. And also, like, one thing that I want to mention, which was something that I wish they would change in this game. So you have a button that just charges into your opponent. You can combo and then charge into them and continue your combo, or you can open up with charge. A lot of people open up with charge because I would say it's relatively safe and it's a really strong move. However, if you do any movement into charge, even though both players would be in the animation of charge, let's say both players charge, but one player does any movement into charge, the person that does any movement into charge, even though what shows up on screen is both players charge, the person that did any movement loses, like, priority, as in, like, they lose to that, which I thought was an interesting mechanic. Anyways, in the middle of the screen, I know you guys are seeing some of the chat over here, but yeah, it's kind of cool that you can get, like, all 7 Dragon Balls. I know that my Twitch chat is there, but when you get all 7 Dragon Balls, you summon the Shenron. It's cool. Definitely, again, there for the hype moments of the game. But as far as characters being unbalanced, because I know that's kind of a concern when people play fighting. Obviously, they can balance things, which I hope this game gets a lot of support for, you know, as far as, like, patches and stuff like that. I feel like there's not a character like, oh, this guy, he's definitely OP, he's definitely going to see, like, tier 0 mechanics. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention, because a lot of people are, oh, play this character, play this character. In the beta, there's, like, a limited amount of characters, as, you know, a beta would have. But the game is launching relatively soon. January 26th is the launch. But I hope they add a ton more characters. But some of the characters in this game, like, I was surprised they added well, you can't play them, but they do have Yamcha. There's Krillin that you can play. Like, there's a lot of characters I'm like, dude, they're actually putting them in there. That's cool. But hopefully they'll add, like, Raditz, you know, other characters maybe perhaps in DLC. I hope, one thing I really just hope that they don't add with this game, I don't think they will, but if they add loot boxes, I'm okay with loot boxes when it's just cosmetic, but when it comes to, like, oh, you gotta get the character out of a loot box, which some games do that, I really hope they don't do that. I don't think there's really any fighting game that, like, locks characters behind loot boxes. It's more of those, like, free-to-play games that do that, but again, this is retailing at a full price. Oh, another cool thing is the stages do change. Now, as far as I know, there's no difference in stages, like, as far as, like, it's just the background. It doesn't, like, change the, like, the stage as far as, like, what you can do. There are things that are destructible, and sometimes when you, like, ult someone, it'll actually move the stage to another area, which I think is awesome. And, oh, another thing I wanted to mention, some of the teleports in this game, like Goku's ultimate, which you'll see me do quite often, like, it teleports behind, and like, I was like, dude, this is so OP. But if you're actually blocking, when someone teleports behind you, you'll still actually be considered blocking. There's not, like, as many mix-ups, I would say, as Marvel does with that. Like, if you've played Marvel. That's, like, kind of, like, the only fighting game that I really, like, played recently. I mean, I messed around a little bit with Killer Instinct, but I like my fighting games to be very fast, and this game definitely delivers on that aspect. Another thing is, when you swap out characters, if they're in, like, the blue area of their health, they will actually start regenerating health. And that's actually, you know, just something that I just like in games. I do like the regenerating health when you have a character swapped out. But in terms of, like, my thoughts on this game, and will I be streaming this game in the future? I think so. I think it's going to be a great game for me to take a break from Overwatch, just to mess around in a couple games, have some fun, just to not take it too seriously. I don't think I'm going to be very competitive in this game, which brings me up to another point in this. When you play in the ranked, now I didn't play that much in ranked, just because it takes longer, A, and B, like, I just prefer just to kind of get my games fast, but it seems like even if you lose, you gain points. I mean, keep in mind it's in beta. Someone said that it's just temporary, so I don't know if that is something that they plan to change in the future. But I would hope that you lose rank points if you lose the game. That's kind of what a ranking system is. But it just seems like you just gain points. Again, this is beta. It even shows it in my VOD if you guys want to go check it out. Like, even if you lose, you still gain points. I just don't understand the logic behind that, but someone said that it was just in the beginning, so if that's changed, that's fine, because like, what would be the point of that? If you wanted to like rank up, you would always just rank up. I guess that makes you feel good, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it just defeats the purpose, in my personal opinion, of like a ranking slash ladder system. But anyways, like, this guy, he gets comboed really hard and he quits. There are definitely going to be people like that in games where, like, you just get comboed so hard that you get frustrated. And I totally understand where some people are coming from. And that's just, like, kind of like RTS games. Like, again, some people are so good that it discourages some of those players that might be new to the game. But this game, I would say, like, the entry level is very easy. You can combo people with just, like, a few buttons. Like, you can hit square, triangle, circle, X, or just any combination, and like everything is like really smooth and it combos into it like other things. Now, one thing that like you guys saw a little like the Majin Buu thing that popped up there for a second. I really wish when you were searching, like you guys can see in the bottom right, the little magnifying glass, while you're searching for a game, if you use what they call it a Z stamp in the game, if you do that while you're searching, it cancels your queue. Like it's just a little emote that like everyone can see. It's just kind of there for just like you know, iconic you know, characters like doing certain poses and stuff. I just wish that didn't cancel your queue. I also wish like during queue you could do something. However, I do want to say that because it's beta, it was having some online issues with the searching. When I was searching, it wasn't that bad. Like, I got a game every once in a while. People were saying before that like they would search for a long time and they would not get a game, and obviously that should be something that gets fixed in the future. But when you actually find a match, one thing that I think should happen, instead of it in the bottom right saying match found, I think should pop up right in the middle of your screen. Because I was reading chat and some people actually mentioned like, you got a game. You see in the bottom right it says searching for match, and once a match is actually found, it'll just keep it in that like bottom right, and like there's no like sound that pops up. I think there should be a sound, and it should be like very loud and like right in front of the middle of the screen, because like I said, sometimes I would be reading chat and just like chilling out in the little lobby here and I wouldn't notice that. So these are just small things that doesn't really like affect the gameplay aspect, which is the most important part, of course, of a fighting game. But I hope they add other modes that are more unique and interesting, which you guys see again right now. You see match made. One thing I also think that should be addressed in the ranking system of the game, but as long as they actually make it so you lose points, like, unless they keep the system that they have, which I doubt they will, is that you can see your opponent's name before you search for, like, before the match starts. I think the only thing that should, like, show up when it says match found is the connection quality, and you can either accept or deny it based off of the connection. Because if you know that this player is really good, or if you know the player is really bad, you can accept or deny and kind of like get that free boost. Or if you're trying to match up with a friend and let's say boost yourself, easily something that someone can exploit. But anyways, that's pretty much my thoughts on the game. I think that the game will be very successful at launch. As far as longevity of the game, it all depends on, you know, how big this game gets in as far as tournaments go. I know that this game is going to be, again, very big at launch because the game, it looks so damn good. And at the moment on Twitch, it's doing okay. Like, it's easily like a top, like, solid 10 game. But a lot of times, guys, when some of these games come out, you know, they're popular for just like a week and then they die off. And I hope this doesn't happen with this game because I like the Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Like, there's a lot of fighting games that I really like, but I think it's a very niche genre. Like, a lot of times, even Street Fighter, unless there's a tournament, like, the game's just not too poppin' on Twitch, and that can be a big deal for, like, anyone that streams the game that wants to take the game more serious. I kind of want to just keep it, like, more casual. Like, once in a while, you know, if we're messing around with Overwatch, you know, we take a small break, hop into some Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball FighterZ, or FighterZ. It'll be fun. But there, like I said, there's a ton of characters, whether it's the new or older characters, and some of the ultimates. They just look so good. Like, I can't get over how cool this game looks. Probably one of my favorite games visually of the past 10 years. If you are a Dragon Ball Z fan, you'll definitely feel at home with the visuals in this game. But I hope there is a really good competitive scene for the game. I think there will be. There's definitely been a ton of fans for it. But who knows what they will add in the future as far as other modes, again, for more casual players, because sometimes people just want to have some fun, get a good little story mode, and I hope they add that in the future as well. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the game. You guys let me know your thoughts down below now that you guys have seen some gameplay, as well as my thoughts on the game. So I'll definitely be streaming this game in the future, and we'll be having some fun with it. Who knows? Maybe I'll take the game a little bit more seriously. It all just comes down to how much I'm winning, honestly, because winning in fighting games is kind of important. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing some DBZ fighters. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'll probably play some more. I'll definitely be showing off some hype moments. I feel like this game will have so many hype moments, like the time when the guy tried to ult and I went behind him and we full comboed him into ult. It was good. It was good. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I am signing out.